بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مساء الخير. التقيت على مدار هذا اليوم بمعالي وزيرة الخارجية المكسيك، وكنت أتطلع بأن يكون أول لقاء لنا في ظروف مغايرة للظروف التي تأتي من خلالها إلى القاهرة، اتصالا بالحادث المؤلم يوم 13 سبتمبر الذي أصاب مواطنين من المكسيك على الأراضي المصرية. وقد عقدنا جولة مباحثات صباح اليوم، ثم تشرفت الوزيرة بلقاء السيد رئيس الجمهورية، وعقدنا جلسة مشاورات ثانية بعد ظهر اليوم، وقد تم صياغة بيان مشترك يصدر عن بمناسبة زيارة معاليها إلى القاهرة. تم صياغته بشكل مشترك، وتم صياغته باللغة الإنجليزية باعتبارها لغة مشتركة للجانبين، وسوف يتم توزيع ترجمة غير رسمية باللغتين العربية والإسبانية على السادة الصحفيين للاسترشاد بها، مع التأكيد على اعتبار النص الإنجليزي هو النص الأصلي في هذا الصدد. A joint press statement by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Egypt and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Egypt, Sامح Shukri, and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico, Her Excellency Claudia Ruiz Massieu, held talks in Cairo today, 16th of September 2015, following the tragic incident that resulted in the loss of lives and injury of Mexican tourists on Egyptian soil on the 13th of September. The Foreign Minister of Egypt welcomed the visit of Her Excellency Claudia Ruiz Massieu, Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico, expressing his regret for the unfortunate circumstances surrounding the visit. The Egyptian Foreign Minister reiterated the Egyptian government's deepest sympathy, regret, and condolences to the government and the people of Mexico and the families of the victims. During her visit to Egypt, Secretary Ruiz Massieu held a meeting with His Excellency Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. The Foreign Minister of Egypt reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to provide all forms of support to the Mexican side, including by ensuring optimum medical care and services to those injured and the facilitation of the prompt return of the bodies of the deceased to Mexico. The Foreign Minister also reassured the Mexican Foreign Secretary of the Egyptian government's commitment to carry out a prompt, thorough, and transparent investigation determining the circumstances, responsibilities, and causes of this regrettable incident, and ensuring appropriate consideration and implementation of the findings. The Egyptian and Mexican sides expressed their willingness to move forward towards enhancing bilateral relations in all fields and continuing coordination on issues of mutual interest on the international arena, in accordance with the historic relations that tie the governments and peoples of both countries. End of text. فنحن بالتأكيد نتطلع لتوفير كل سبل الرعاية للمصابين، وأن تتم عمليات للتحقق من كافة الظروف المحيطة بهذا الحادث الأليم، وما نشعر به كمصريين من ألم ومواساة لأسر الضحايا. ونعلم جيدا أن هذا الفقد فقد كبير، ونؤكد للحكومة والشعب المكسيك بأننا في مصر حكومة وشعبا نشعر بذات الألم لهذا الفقد، وندعو أن يلهم أسر الضحايا الصبر والسلوان، مع مرة أخرى التأكيد على أن التحقيق سوف يكون تحقيق شامل ووافي ومحدد لكافة الظروف المحيطة بهذا الحادث. ونتمنى أن تظل الاتصالات وثيقة فيما بيننا خلال الفترة القادمة، وسوف أحيط معالي الوزيرة بكافة التطورات بشكل فوري، ونتطلع أن نعمل أيضا على استمرار تدعيم أواصر الصداقة والتعاون التقليدية القائمة بين كل من جمهورية مصر العربية والمكسيك. وأعطي الكلمة لمعالي الوزير.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samaha Shukri, has expressed, we have worked together throughout the day to release this joint press statement from both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Egypt and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico. During my visit to Egypt, that has been a visit surrounding the tragic events of last Sunday, in which 8 Mexican nationals lost their lives and 6 Mexican nationals were wounded. We have been instructed by President Peña Nieto to come to Egypt first and foremost to be at the side of the Mexican injured victims, to have brought to them protection and accompaniment, and most importantly, to bring with me their families so they can help them heal and help them through this very traumatic process. In second place, I have come to Egypt to hold meetings at the highest level, both with the President of Egypt and with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, expressing in those meetings the importance for Mexico and its people to have a thorough and comprehensive, prompt and transparent investigation that will allow us to know what actually happened on Sunday that resulted in such tragic and unprecedented events, that will allow us to determine the circumstances and responsibilities and causes of this regrettable incident, and that will allow us to ensure the appropriate consideration and implementation of the findings. On third count, we have been very firm in putting before the Minister of Foreign Affairs the necessity of having the process for ensuring that our injured and our deceased nationals can be brought home as soon as possible. We want to thank the Egyptian government and authorities, their cooperation and their facilitation of these objectives. We will be working closely with them to ensure that the findings of the investigation can be fully implemented. We want to help our people and the Egyptian people move forward after these tragic and unprecedented events. And we also express our condolences to the Egyptian people for the loss of lives of the Egyptians that were involved in the events of last Sunday. Thank you.
معالي وزيرة خارجية المكسيك، لقد التقيت اليوم بالسيد وزير الخارجية والسيد رئيس الجمهورية، فهل في ختام الزيارة للقاهرة لمستي نتائج إيجابية لمباحثاتك والتحركات المصرية؟ هل اطمأننتي للتحركات المصرية تجاه كشف ملابسات الحادث؟
I have expressed, and I do so again, that all the government of Mexico's concerns and requests have been met with cooperation and a positive attitude from the government and the people of Egypt. We have been accorded every facilitation and easing of our requests, both in terms of providing care for our wounded and for initiating the process that can bring all our nationals back home. We have also found the Foreign Affairs Minister of Egypt to be receptive to our petition to give the utmost priority to starting the investigation, and that making sure that that investigation is thorough, is transparent, is expedient, and that its findings will allow us to know and clarify what actually happened on Sunday and to know where the responsibilities lie. We will be working closely in the coming months with the government of Egypt to ensure that appropriate consideration and implementation of the investigation's findings are met. And also, and most importantly at this point, we will keep working together to ensure that our Mexican nationals can come home as soon as possible. Thank you.
This is a question from Sarah Sugini from CNN. We've had very little information about exactly what happened, or at least a brief explanation of what happened over there from the Egyptian government, and most of the information we've got was through statements, I think, conveyed to the Mexican government. If it's possible now to provide at least a brief description of what happened there, how they were killed, and how help arrived, and how soon were they taken back to the hospital. Thank you.
All relevant information will be provided once that the full investigation has been concluded. We at this time prefer that a full and thorough investigation is undertaken, a transparent one, which can define the circumstances and events in an accurate, factual, and verifiable manner. And once that is completed, it will be in the public domain and will, of course, be communicated to the Mexican government. We will continue to praise the Mexican government of any subsequent developments related to the investigation or any elements of that investigation that might be concluded prior to the full completion of the various dimensions of the investigation. So I will refrain from making any further comment on what is under investigation currently.
معالي الوزيرة، اليوم أول زيارة لك لمصر، هل المباحثات اليوم مع وزير الخارجية تناولت جانب من العلاقات الثنائية؟
abordó temas sobre relaciones de cooperación bilateral en su primera entrevista con el canciller egipcio.
During the course of my visit to Egypt, the subject of my meetings and negotiations with the Minister of Foreign Affairs were only related to the incident and the tragic events of Sunday, related to what I have already explained, the need of the Mexican government to have all the facilitation according to our nationals that are wounded in the hospital, that they have received medical attention and have help and aid to help us bring all our nationals wounded or deceased back to Mexico. In the second instance, our talks and negotiations have revolved around the issue of the investigation, which has been agreed will be a thorough, comprehensive, expedited, and transparent one, and that its findings will be made public, will be made available for determining the responsibilities and further actions that result from whatever is found. And lastly, the need for us to have full cooperation from the Egyptian government, which we have had, to have the families of the wounded and deceased come to Egypt to reunite with their families.
Let me just add, if you allow me, Excellency, that that investigation has already been initiated. It is under the supervision of the Prime Minister, and it will encompass all the various authorities responsible or that have details pertaining to this event. May I also take this opportunity to say that the Egyptian government is eager to continue to provide every support for the victims who are under medical care. Yesterday they were visited by both the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health. Their treatment is going to be borne from a financial perspective by the government of Egypt, and that the President has also directed that the families who have accompanied the Minister on this trip shall be accorded the hospitality of the Egyptian government in their accommodation and their transportation and whatever might provide them with assistance and relieve their concerns, and we do so out of our sense of solidarity with the families of the bereaved, and again our condolences and our support to those who have been injured.
This is for both the ministers. In the initial language used by the Egyptian Interior Ministry in describing this attack, they used the word mistake or error to describe the targeting of the tourist convoy. And my question relates to the letter you published, sir, yesterday evening for the Mexican people, in which you seem to suggest that there was still an investigation as to whether or not the tourists were either in the wrong place at the wrong time, or whether an error had been committed. Is it fair to say, and would you describe the deaths of your Mexican nationals as an error? Would we be amiss in using that word or no?
If that's directed at me, I think it is quite evident that the loss of life of civilians in circumstances such as this is an exceptional event. It is not one that is in any way can be described except as an unfortunate event that is under current investigation, and it is the investigation that will define. Yesterday in the letter that was issued, we did describe some of what was being circulated by the press related to the incident only as a matter of compilation of what was in the public domain, but also it was not in only one aspect, but rather in various reports and potential instances related to this tragic incident. The objective was not to preempt in any way the investigation underway, but at least to provide to the Mexican public a degree of transparency and account of the various scenarios that were being circulated, and to indicate that all of them would be scrutinized. So that was the objective, and I hope that it is fully understood that it is the objective of the Egyptian government to scrutinize all the potential circumstances related to this incident.
And let me just add that the Egyptian government has conveyed its deepest regret at the tragic incidents, and we have agreed to wait until the investigation is complete to know its findings and to determine whether there are responsibilities, where they lie, and what would be the appropriate consideration and implementation of its findings.
حضرتك اجتمعت اليوم مع رئيس الدولة ومع معالي وزير الخارجية. هل توصلتم لأي تفاصيل حول الحادث؟ وهل تعتقدون أن القوات المسلحة المصرية بكل احترامي لها قد قامت بضرب أهداف دون تحديد هويتها؟
Como ya he expresado, la reunión con el presidente de Egipto fue una reunión productiva para poder después tener una reunión, pláticas y negociación con el ministro de Relaciones Exteriores de Egipto, cuyo resultado se expresa en este comunicado. La necesidad, primero, de tener todas las facilidades para poder brindar a las víctimas que se encuentran heridas y hospitalizadas en el Cairo atención, la posibilidad de reunirse con sus familiares y el agilizar los procedimientos y procesos para que puedan regresar a México lo más pronto posible. En segundo lugar, la ayuda para poder iniciar el proceso de repatriación de los mexicanos que fallecieron en el trágico incidente del domingo. Y en tercer lugar, la instrumentación de una investigación expedita, completa, profunda, transparente, que revele lo que verdaderamente sucedió y nos brinde una explicación clara de los hechos, deslinde responsabilidades y nos permita pensar en el paso siguiente una vez que conozcamos sus resultados. En todo momento hemos encontrado de las autoridades de Egipto cooperación, facilidades para poder cumplir con nuestro objetivo en este viaje que nos encomendó el presidente de la República, para acompañar a los heridos, para iniciar el proceso de repatriación y para acompañar en este proceso de investigación.
كما قلت مسبقا لقد قمت بالاجتماع مع معالي الرئيس ثم قمت بعد ذلك بلقاء مع معالي وزير الخارجية، وكان الاجتماع مع الرئيس إيجابي للغاية، وكان حديثي مع معالي وزير الخارجية حول كيفية التسهيلات التي ممكن أن تقدم للضحايا المكسيكيين في الحادث المأساوي وإحضارهم أو إعادتهم إلى وطنهم. كما كان هدفنا أيضا إعادة الجثث الموتى الذين وقعوا ضحايا هذا الحادث المأساوي، وإننا تناقشنا كمان أيضا أن تقوم الجهات المصرية بتحقيق كامل شفاف وتام لكافة الإجراءات حتى يوضح بالفعل ما حدث ويتيح لنا التفكير بمن المسؤول عن هذا الحادث. ولقد تلقينا كافة التعاون والتسهيلات من الجانب المصري. الهدف من زيارتنا ولمساعدتنا في إعادة ضحايا الحادث إلى بلدهم وأن بمرافقة أقاربهم الذين يزورونهم حاليا.
Ahmed Awlanin from Reuters. Are you considering issuing a travel ban to Egypt or upping a travel warning?
En la página de la Embajada de México tenemos vigente una advertencia de viaje donde se comunica a los potenciales visitantes mexicanos a Egipto de algunas medidas de precaución que deben de seguir. Esta es una noticia, un aviso que está vigente, que se encuentra en la página de la Embajada y que actualmente ahí se puede consultar.
يوجد صفحة رسمية لسفارة المكسيك بالقاهرة تحذيرا بيوضح فيه الأماكن المفروض يسافروا فيها وإيه الإجراءات اللي ممكن تتبع للسفر إلى مصر وإجراءات التحذيرية للأماكن اللي ممكن تزار.
Secretaria, sabemos que la investigación está en curso y que todavía no hay ninguna conclusión, pero hay un punto que quizás se puede ya aclarar y no sabemos si las autoridades de Egipto se lo han clarificado a usted. La agencia que organizó este tour dice que tenían los permisos para estar en ese lugar, mientras que el gobierno en un primer momento a priori dijo que era una zona donde se le advertía a las agencias que no podían llevar allí turistas. ¿Se le aclaró a usted este punto contradictorio desde un primer momento?
Los datos que a nosotros nos han referido las víctimas hospitalizadas. Yes.
وفقا للتحقيقات الجارية الآن فإن شركة السياحة قالت إن لديها كافة التصريحات من الجهات المصرية المعنية للقيام بتلك الرحلة، بينما تقول السلطات المصرية أن السائحين دخلوا منطقة محظورة. هل حضرتك ناقشت هذا التعارض في الآراء مع الجهات المصرية؟
Los datos que a nosotros nos han transmitido las víctimas que están hospitalizadas, con quien hemos conversado, tanto el embajador de México en Egipto como la propia secretaria de Relaciones Exteriores, nos indican que el grupo de turistas mexicanos contrató el viaje con una agencia de viajes acreditada que les propuso distintas excursiones a lo largo de un viaje de 15 días y con el que respecto de los cuales se contaban con todos los permisos. Esperaremos a que concluya la investigación para conocer los hechos y poder clarificarlos. Hasta el momento esos son los datos y esperaremos a que la investigación concluya y conozcamos sus resultados.
وفقا للمعلومات التي حصلنا عليها من الضحايا الموجودين حاليا في المستشفى وحديثهم مع سفير المكسيك في القاهرة ومعي شخصيا وزيرة الخارجية، أفادت أن السياح قد عقدت اتفاقا مع شركة معتمدة لدى الدولة على القيام برحلة لمدة 15 يوما، والشركة أفادتهم أنهم يملكون كافة التصريحات للقيام بتلك الرحلة، ولكننا ما زلنا في انتظار نتيجة التحريات حتى نتحقق من صحة تلك البيانات.
Thank you.